Rum ti rum ta rum ti cha rum ti dup chum rum chim cha Rubbity butty duppy dum bum puppy libbly libby 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 wee. Welcome to Technical Difficulties Land, where fucking shit fuck shit fuck. Are we stable? Are we good? Okay, let's keep going. Jesus Christ, it's gonna be a fucking nightmare. Stupid internet connection sucks ass. More at 11.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
I'll catch you later, Cindy.
Watch your back, Ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Oof. Oh, wait. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Ooh, what? Signal blue naval coat. Classic double-breasted coat suits everyone, including you. And if you ever find yourself battling winds at the helm of a ship, then the coat's heavy fabric has got your back, even if moths have left a few holes in it. Snazzy. I like it. Oh, but this one gives me shivers. Gives me the shivers. Brrr. Oh yeah, I should probably... I can put the flashlight away. Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. The lady's boat shines like it was recently painted. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A. The room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than the sloop.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Well, I've talked to Evra Claire.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Finally, time to choose sides.
There's a fucking mosquito in the room. God damn it. Beautiful man, beautiful and just. Evra Claire is a hero of the workers' movement. He's a champion I've sworn fealty to. He's a bloated rainbow socialist. I can do business with him, for a socialist is reasonable. He is not the champion I have chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you and the cause of capital. Such a stupid fucking answer, but I'm trying to go for the capitalist route.
What? I am afraid you have misread the situation, Detective. This is not some feudal conflict. It is a negotiation.
Well, at least I got a laugh out of her.
And if it were a conflict, the RCM would not pick sides. My colleague's unusual approach to police work does not represent the organization at this time.
Okay. Okay, yes, perhaps I misread the situation as a bit more man from Helmedal than it is.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like passing some information, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Mr. About it, help me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. He's able to contain the anger and surprise.
That was a stupid idea, sorry.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
This is such a bad idea! It's almost ready to be found soon.
Did he now? Well, then it should be any day now. Unless, of course, he's lying to you. Anyway, was there anything else you've heard?
Let's talk about something else for now, if you don't mind.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Do you know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
How is you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Well, I got some more questions about, reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What is... Something close to me. RCM authority comes from Coalition. The RCM uses unjacketed ammo.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
God, my conceptualization is awful, but...
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
Boxcars. Fucking boxcars, thank God. What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
A frisson lifts the hair on the back of your arm. Wind sweeps the surface of the bay.
The wind is sweeping the waters.
The world is a suzerainty of Revachol.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. World needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What's hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside... How about it's a ball?
That's looking less and less likely, Detective. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
Thank you.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
Dark grey corona.
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you.
Oh my god, wait, what the hell are you telling me? Finally got the fucking mosquito.
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be.
Her voice becomes homely, calm. She lets a moment pass. The pale. And what do you mean, corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
Okay. And then everything will be okay?
I don't know about things of that scale. My expertise lies in nations and trade routes, one or several layers below everything. But yes, we'll be fine. Don't worry.
She does not seem convinced that you'll be fine. If anything, she's realizing how deep your condition runs.
Generally doesn't feel like I'm fine.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
The cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
You said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is.
I don't think your colleague would appreciate that. He has already been so patient with this whole exercise. Let's continue with something else, all right? You can ask about anything else in the world. Anything.
You could sneak back later when the lieutenant is not here, unless you can convince him to step aside.
Okay. He trusts me. That's good.
Is what you want to do. But should you? He expressly stated you shouldn't hear about it. What if it renders you mad? Or catatonic? Or makes you lose your memory again?
Oh, fair point, Volition.
Yes?
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
There's a flash of teeth.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
You got a predatory streak.
All men are predators, dear. Nothing much to be done about that. It's all a matter of where you get to file your teeth.
What's the big time?
The revolution.
Huh. And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intra-species warfare.
And the apes, are they evil?
No, I would say the apes were neutral.
Okay, neutral.
On the other hand,
She turns north to the bombed out buildings, lining the waterfront, then shivers slightly.
The apes will never change. They are all evil. End of discussion.
Who got shot in the head?
those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Oh, that's truly a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
That's a cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
She looks up at the sky, then inland at the crumbling city. Okay, and by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement.
beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement?
Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the Ultras, or Ultra-Liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Moralist.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Rudy tooty pointy shooty.
That's the way of history.
When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What did this Zarath do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Whoa, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
It's been like this for how long exactly?
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
What have you been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
Your jaw clenches. Give the lady a taste of your wisdom.
I ask you. No. What a sort of medical No. Who are you in all this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing.
I am... What? No. No, I'm not saying that. Sought a medical solution. Sorry to drove people mad.
A cold creeps up your spine, reaching its tendrils up your neck, toward the back of your head.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? A complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago.
Definitely not that. Can't work if it does not turn your brain. It's hygiene, modest social care, and little research program. That's definitely not gonna be enough. Privatist healthcare, fucking no. That's a cop. That's a.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. The charge dissipates into the dark water. All is quiet on the Martinez inlet.
Man,
A dog barks. A gunshot echoes off the walls of some distant building. A woman's voice.
It's all yours.
what do you mean? It's all mine.
A poor remedy for prion disease. That was the attitude of most of the more moderate Indo tribes, particularly those who supported the king. Kupri, Resplendent, both gone now. Those that survived mended their ways. They're all ultras now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
I know.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
Well, that's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
What is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Really?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I mean, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, seeing the skull gives Joyce the evil eye. A red paintbrush hold to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine. It's sharp.
Dios mío, a liberal. What's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
Dios mío, a liberal.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought our kind were all extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as this anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
No, but I find my fucking internet connection frightening. Jesus Christ.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately aware of it.
Please don't. That's way too much for me. Beautiful.
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk and my intimidating liberal credentials. This was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
But you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
Lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a talk. You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You have daughters.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Let's fuck it up.
What world?
The camera of her
Great body.
free zone.
No,
There is
Jesus.
a term of Elysium.
Is this the one with the evil apes?
Not in this case, no. That sounds more like something the Mesk petro-fascists might say. It isn't enough to call us animals. Even animals aren't animals.
What are animals then?
They're like you and I suppose. Living organisms don't identify with abstractions. Elysium is for particular beings.
We'll need a term of endearment.
It does. A term of hatred that originates. Let's. I am, after all, bourgeois and female. Hardly the perfect ambassador for the world.
Come on, I can do this. Please.
Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene.
Kim, can I talk to the ma'am alone for a second?
Fine.
See? What can he do? You're a grown man.
Now, what is the pail?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes. What is the pail?
Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
What's an isola?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
And Insulinde is?
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay. What is the Pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Transition state of being into nothingness. Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
And there?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
Coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microbes. Mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest.
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly.
What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
If we're surrounded by Pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola?
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
Her lungs deflate, her words sound like a sigh.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path.
Force dimensions on the Pale. Even compress its latitude, bounce around. Okay.
But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost or having our minds damaged.
Pale can damage the mind?
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
What does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
You're not a civilian passenger?
No nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale Transit annually.
Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
What is entreprenetic?
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Did they cross it? The Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What has entreprenetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft?
Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely.
If we do not?
Then they don't.
How much Pale is there compared to the world?
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, Detective?
It's growing. More and more of the Pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go into the wild Pale yonder.
One and all. They say Pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Let's return to the reality, please.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good.
Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
Continue to persist at all its testament to our faith. Events can only be stopped with an immediate total reckless communism. Powerful anti-communist force, but are too powerful, it's still the coming. As to say this since I'm very liberal, don't know how you... Huge accomplishment. Who am I to think anything of it? In a way, it's disco. Crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you. Your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
I'll handle it. It's under control.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile, you have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
That was fucking insane, Kim.
Yes, well, the rest of us have dealt with it for thousands of years, so
You will have to deal with it, too, the lieutenant thinks. This is why I didn't want you to know.
Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant.
Good luck, detectives.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
I haven't paid the cafeteria manager for damages yet,
You should take care of that, then.
but I don't have the money.
Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the streets. We'll figure something out.
Okay, how much there do I have? I have some stuff. There's a pawn shop. I know there's a pawn shop. I can go to the pawn shop. Is the pawn shop open? Ah. Da. One thing per day. One thing at a time. Ancient fountain. Doesn't pump water anymore. Because there's a tree in it. A sewer grate. A gateway to the river of filth. Roy's Pawn Shop. Fast cash for faster times. Not that. Not that. Something of this? I'm not buying something that. Maybe. Definitely not that. Not that. No? Oh, that's almost... Oh my, that's a lot of information. Let's see. I'm a superstar cop. Pretty communist, but a little bit ultra-liberal. What a bit about it. Good pop. Bad pop. Honor of 1. People killed 3. 216 cases solved. 18 years of service. The dark film projector is wearing away. Some kind of machine. An antique cash register. I don't have anything to sell. Unless... No, that's electrochemistry. I mean, why the fuck not? But electrochemistry is already fucking bothering me for centuries. Water lock out of order until Wednesday, 7:15 a.m. Damn it. Okay. One thing at a time. Well, shit. Okay. Well, shit. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Well. Then. Just in case.
Can I help you?
Hold on. What's up? Oh no, I was there! Ah, there we are.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul.
My soul is immense.
Utterly. And it needs to be heard. Through a PA system. Whether they like it or not. Ram it up their ears, says your adrenaline gland. Violently express yourself.
This goes well with my theory I'm developing that I'm a down-on-my-luck superstar person.
Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Yes, sounds likely. You should probably go on stage and pose for a moment when you're done with this thought. See if it works.
What should I sing when it comes to it?
You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious.
Of course! They'll really get a gotch on my soul with that one.
Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face with your sad, tragic song. Who's laughing now? No one. You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed.
Yeah. Ugh, my
Can I
man.
help you?
About the money.
Yes. Have you got it?
How much?
A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real.
I was wondering if we could come to some sort of arrangement for tonight.
Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
Kim is about to say something, let him.
I understand your predicament as the manager. However, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business.
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment.
This conversation isn't going anywhere, is it?
Not until you bring me the money.
Okay, I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this. The man is thinking.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
No.
Yes?
Oh, wow. 3% chance. Okay, Oh yeah, the motor carriage, right. I've been streaming for 5 hours. Oh god.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio mic.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage.
Look in the cage.
The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
What are those things?
There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, the caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity.
Honestly, that sounds like an amazing physics demonstration.
What do you mean confiscated them?
A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high.
I get it. Confiscated them too, they're mesmerizing.
That they are. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back.
You wanna put the spinners on your machine?
No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cup with spinners. That would be outrageous.
Yes, outrageously cool.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
Or you have to sell them because of me.
As I said, they're useless anyway. I should have remembered I have these earlier.
But thank you.
Yay! Thanks, I appreciate your help.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
I have managed to garner his trust in one day. Maybe it's not that hard for me to garner his trust. But I still feel nice. Hello, my good friend. Why is you open at like 11:35? Mostly military wear, with a few eccentric fashions thrown in.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hyomdal burning.
Snip the t-shirt.
Smells like worn cotton and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Thank you.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy.
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about?
That's a red man from a Yelmdal t-shirt you got there.
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed tees, but this one was just pure exemplar.
Got a lot in common. Big fan of the man from Yelmdal too.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a fan, but I do think the Hyomdalaman saga is an integral part of our shared reality. Most people don't think that the man from Hyomdal really existed, but they're wrong.
What do you mean?
I mean, even if the man from Hyomdal didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he has. It's simple, really.
Yeah, I guess I understand what your point is.
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of cause and effect. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Hyomdal, and watched northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there.
Very, very unique energies indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say. Stop talking about this nerd stuff. It will make you weedy. Buy the damn shirt already. It's powerful.
How much you selling?
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
You should.
Ho 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 ho. I have 2 real in my
Welcome
pockets.
to Hyomdal, officer.
Hell yeah. I know I'm pressed for cash, but
Not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop.
the man at the counter turns to you slowly.
What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Sorry, I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately. RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake. People who are terminally bored.
Even his glasses make him look like he has a frown. I never really understood what this is, if it's a mustache or it's his pruny lips. Like it's very close to just the skull there.
As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Quite a collection. I may have something to add to it.
It keeps me entertained.
Turn once more to the play of light and shadows on the walls behind you.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug, maybe. Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what?
Is Roy high, and if yes, then what is he on? Roy's prices are strange. Composure noticed psychedelics.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
Pyrrolidon. What is that?
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Does it mean it's really warm in here?
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
Oh my god, oh my god. I'm really sure this is like one of the only sources of no job, just curious. Probably did loads of power hardly before I lost my memory.
I've had to take it. You know, since the People's Pile cleanup. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade.
Oh,
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
the People's Pile?
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you, too.
Ah, okay, Tell me more about this Emergency Relief Brigade.
We were an all-volunteer force. Self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a red drop of blood.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. Didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
Must have been tough. Radioactive cleanup.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
Whose fault was it that generator failed?
No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
Dead. And how did you end up running a pawn shop?
The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
Thank you for telling me.
I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
No, I know you wanted electrochemistry, but my personal fucking empathy is telling me no. Something I'd like to sell.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump a mesk banger? No matter. I'll give you 200 real.
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course, I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you. Do come again.
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest goes in his pocket.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
I have $17, 17 real left in my pockets. Nothing else to sell at the moment.
Another time, perhaps.
Oh, by the way, do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the citizens' militia?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
What? Sold? The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
I sold you my gun.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
Was the buyer a policeman too?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Yeah.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
I don't like it either. Well, she intends to commit a crime and blame it on the citizens' militia.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in time.
People from Everard's Claire's Union come here to track that gun.
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Wait, then it might be true. Everard's claims.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Oh god, it's that.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
Is that a street light?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide.
Where'd you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Standard tips of toes.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
This stereoid-approved machine here.
Is the Harman Welsh W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
I have 5 real left after this. All working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
Sad to hear. Would this device come handy in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Then yes, I want to buy the boombox. Just do it.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
Yay! Okay, now we definitely need to go back and fucking pay. Jesus Christ! Thank God you're still here.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it?
Yes!
Well?
I hope you choke on it. Yeah!
Great. Perfect. I hope you enjoy your freezing cold room with the window you broke yourself.
Yay! I win!
I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room.
Oh.
All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m.
Ah.
Starting tomorrow, please pay for each night in advance. 20 real per night. If you don't have the money, it's over for you. Got it? You've got nowhere else to stay.
I'll take a room here too.
Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
I'm gonna sing karaoke.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
Yeah! Oh, I'm gonna This feels right. You belong here. Hell yeah.
You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it.
Am I a smoker?
Who knows what you are? A monster, a murderer, the gnome of Jeroma? You feel like a smoker, especially when you look at that juicy, succulent, seductive cigarette stub, still smoldering deliciously.
But you broke it at the filter. I can't smoke that.
How very astute of you. This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette, or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that. A carton. Make sure they're all healthy and able-bodied. Then smoke them all.
I should enthusiastically do that.
Good. They'll make you stronger and better. You're too old to be cool now. But find cigarettes, smoke them, blam. Instantly a cool renegade man. A mystical red dragon with smoke rising from his nostrils. Plus, smoking them gives massive bonuses.
Neat.
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good night, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Alright, let's go.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
I didn't know you smoked, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
How did you get so cool, Kim?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit, below it all.
Hee. Right then, to debrief.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think today went?
We performed a cursory initial inspection of the victim's body. Then you shot the body down, which was quite a shot.
Fucking gay is primary guts with
I
me.
admit I wasn't sure whether I should give you the gun, but I'm glad I did. Your shot enabled us to perform a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. Moreover, you found that the hanged man wasn't just hanged, he was also shot. That was some excellent detective work.
Hey.
And you managed to locate and pull out the bullet, so we can get ballistics, make off the gun. All this is invaluable.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
The rest is up to the boys in processing. Maybe they will surprise us by doing their job for once, but I wouldn't count on it. There's still work to be done at the crime scene, however. We mustn't forget that. Now for the interviews.
That's my forte. Unlike most cops, I understand how important communication is in our line of work.
Very important indeed. Well, we conducted an interview with Everard Clare. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however.
I'm sure I could get him to tell us more.
We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
I don't like to waste time, you know. One moves fast, the rest has to try to keep up.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
Hee.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
Yay. So, what are our powers exactly? The RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Ravachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
1,000, but why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Ravachol.
Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station closely. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Wait, how can we be sure the arrestee will show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
I see, and if someone resists?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
Wait, so if I kill someone while on duty...
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
What happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
And who makes all these rules? The coalition government?
Yes, the international community's mission in Ravachol, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
Case is absently fixed on a window below that just went dark.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Ravachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
Let's say it was the citizens of Revachol.
Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
The moral intern. What is it?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
If I didn't know, how would you describe them?
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
What's their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something ominous. Something even a little feminine. But in a strict manner. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
Wow, that's a lot of chiming in. Who was Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
For you, she is something painful, though it's hard to say why.
Ominous. What do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
I have an opinion on the moral intern.
Do you?
The lieutenant arches his brow, then pulls on his cigarette. It's a slim white thing in his fingers. You've done an awful job here. This isn't humanism.
We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
Maybe we should make our own law.
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revachol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over. The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land, in Jamrock and the GRIH.
Why are they like this?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company. Not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan, fallen between the cracks.
And in Jamrock and the GRIH?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
He looks at the dark silhouette, the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I hope our investigation will help improve the situation here. At least do some good.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Ah. Good night. Thank you very much. Magnum-sized bottle Commodore Red is empty. I'm returned at the table listening to what the song was playing.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
Oh, it's an easy one. I was wondering why it was so high.
The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
Did I break it with my own hands?
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
What did this then?
More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
Assess the size of the impact.
It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist. The shoe you found on the balcony fits the hole almost as well as your foot. It would have also been heavy enough if thrown with force. Congratulations, you smashed the window with your own shoe.
I'm sure I had a good reason for it. Maybe I was trying to hit someone.
And maybe, just maybe, you succeeded. We'll never know. Or maybe you were trying to smash your own reflection in the window pane.
That's also possible. See bottles in the bathtub. Wine, beer, and sweet liqueur.
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you. The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
Undress, close your eyes, and submerge.
The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies. You feel nice and lonely, and so tired.
Take the beer cans out.
Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub. They're not even really thoughts, just assorted sensations. None of them acute enough to focus on.
Linger in the tub a little.
Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. What are you doing? You're not some fat fish in a fucking aquarium. Time to get moving. You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench.
Damn.
The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
Oh, that's at least it's better than before.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Right. Let me just... Beepity boop.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, the faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts into place.
Motherfucking boxcars, baby!
You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops. Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it.
Oh wow, my encyclopedia sucks. I have clothes for that. Oh wow, this is so much better. I mean, my authority sucks ass, but it already sucked ass before. So, meh.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It's barely covered in steam. It's like something snaps in you. A nerve ending. A thought. A sadness. Your face in the mirror is suddenly clean of the layer that had distorted it for God knows how long. Just like that, it's over. The running gag that your life had become. A sad old man looks back at you.
And a sad old man I am. Oh boy. I have so many skill points. Why? Ugh.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue is stuck to the back.
I'll open the hidden compartment already.
Just relax. The two sides of the board are slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. All you need to do is bend the plastic on your knee, slowly. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. The words just crossed your mind somehow.
Who were they for?
Who do you think? You.
Pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. They let you go there too. You should go and kill yourself there.
Pick up the card. Oh, yeah.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it first.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card, looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
But it'll make me happy.
Outside, you hear the wind howl. A sudden gale blows in from Martinez, flapping street signs and window blinds.
Come outside.
What?
Far away and outside, the reeds hiss with desperation. Step out.
Okay, oh boy. I need a little something something.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage. Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue is stuck to the back. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the card again, now that you're outside.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. It smells of a touch of cinnamon, the familiar handwriting. A young woman in her. Harry, throw it away, please.
Keep reading.
Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always, always, always come back to it. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on. To what? There's nothing.
There is nothing. Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Just lie there, passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering. somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
Yeah, that's his stuff.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him. Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it so. But as they say, what do you do?
Smells so nice.
It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Was that the X something? The...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Enough. Just lay there motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness.
Where am I?
In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket. The air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Drink. Water.
You back?
No drink.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I should ask you the same.
There was a call on the shortwave. Officer passed out in Martinez. I had a feeling it would be you. I'm glad I got here in time.
How long was I out?
I don't know. It could have been quite a while.
Came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
Thank you.
I found this next to you. I'll tag along for the rest of the day if you don't mind. My business is concluded anyway. Are you okay to go?
Let's solve this.
Good.
The ledger of failure and hatred. This is the same ledger you found in the trash. Only worse, somehow. Makes you think about the letter. About the woman's handwriting. About not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. Oh boy. You see yourself from above. You're passed out on the blue tiles of the hostel room floor. Even from this distance, you can see your eyelids flutter. At the mention of what? A great, wide object, letting out its sweet smell, like a lily of the valley. The little man's forgotten its name, but he still remembers the feeling. And look, he moves. Feeling animates him. He instinctively reaches out for the feeling's best friend, a bottle of Komodo Red. He puts on his disco clothes and gets smaller and smaller. Oh boy. Yeah. 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 It's 1 a.m. 5 minutes past 1 in the morning. I have been streaming for nearly 6 hours. 5 hours, 54 minutes, and about to be 40 seconds. I've been streaming this game for a quarter of a day now. That... that should not be right. But I guess it's a reality, so... Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for talking. I'm always happy to do this. This was a heavy one. I mean, I don't know what else I was expecting. Disco Elysium is as Disco Elysium is. Heavy. That's really all I can say about it. Thank you. Hope you have a good rest of your evening. Goodbye. And good night. And goodbye. Meow meow.